Hey guys, Over's25 here, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to build your very own magnetic differential fill caps for your Trx300FW, or you can apply this for other automotive vehicles such as dirt bikes or scooters and such. But the reason why I'm making this video and the reason why I did this is because for those of you that do not know, inside of a differential, there are all the gears, and as the gears are grinding against each other, even with the oil and regular maintenance, they do wear down over time and introduce metal like shavings, I should say, into the oil. And even after a oil change, there will still be magnetic fragments left behind inside the differential. So what automotive industries have done, like trucks and stuff, they have put magnets inside the bottom of the differentials and inside the pans and stuff, so that when you service the differential, you can pull it off, you can clean off the magnet of all the metal shavings, and then you can put the the casing or whatever back on, and then you fill it back up. And that's one way that they reduce the amount of wear on the differential, is by catching all those metal fragments with a magnet so that they're not floating around. The Trx300FW does not have that capability, and there are no aftermarket drain plugs that have magnets on them because of the small diameter of the drain bolt on the differential. So one thing that I came up with, and what other people have come up with, is to attach magnets to the underside of the filler cap, so as you're driving around and the oil is splashing around, that the metal fragments, as it's being splashed up underneath the fill cap, will be caught. And then on your next service of your differential oil change, you can go ahead and just take the fill cap off, wipe away all the metal fragments that were caught, and then go ahead and change your oil as normal. So there's a lot of takes on how to do this. I'm going to show you the way that I'm going to do it, and have done it and have had success so far. I've been using this for about 2 days so far, and I'm now converting my other differential cap. I only did one at a time because I wanted to test it first. But there are people that have vouched for these things working for years, no issue. So this is how I'm going to do it. So the first thing I did was I had to get the magnets, of course. Now I use 2 types of magnets. This is my second filler cap, and I'm doing this one a little differently, but I use these 2 neodymium magnets. They're kind of small. They're probably less than a 1/4 inch in width, but on the low side of because there's the inside of the filler cap, and then there's a little low point. On the low point, I went ahead and stuck the magnets down in there, and there's 2 types of epoxies I used this urethane based D50 from Double Bubble Hardman, and I use this because it doesn't have any steel fragments in it like JB Weld, and the other type of epoxy that I used was Permatex. This does not have any steel fragments in it, and the reason why I use that on the bottom was because if you introduce the magnet to the bottom and then you try putting epoxy in there, the magnets of course suck up the epoxy all the way to the top because it's got the metal fragments on there, and that's not something that I wanted. So I used the Permatex, not the Permatex, I'm sorry, the Hardman urethane-based epoxy first to hold the 2 magnets in there, and then I went ahead and used the Permatex steel-reinforced epoxy to put this flat magnet on top of the 2 smaller magnets so that I have a larger surface area that stuff can be caught on. Now the next thing I'm going to do, and this is already all hardened and dried, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be using either some people use Honda Bond. I don't have Honda Bond, but I'm using Permatex gear oil gasket maker. I've used this stuff before. I use this when I take my differentials apart and put them back together. This stuff is specifically designed to resist, there we go, resist friction modifiers that they put in things like gear oil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in the rest of the gap with all this extra space with the gear oil gasket maker to assist with the gear oil not getting to the epoxy and possibly eating it away. I don't know if epoxy is friction modifier resistant or not, so I'm going to go ahead and use this just kind of as an added layer of defense for the epoxy. Now some people have said that they've used nothing but things like Honda Bond, or in my case this would be gasket maker material to hold the magnets in there. However, I'm a little skeptical about that, so I used epoxy, and I'm going to double it up with then filling in the rest of it with a gasket maker that is gear oil resistant. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of stop the video here. After this video, I'm going to show you guys kind of how it looks with some pictures and stuff, and I might do like a final thought. But that's pretty much all you have to do to manufacture these things, and then when you screw these things in, as the oil is sloshing around, it will catch metal fragments on the magnet. Now, the only thing I'm going to tell you is I had to do some measurements and stuff. You do not want the magnets to pass, let me see if I can get this in frame here. You do not want the magnets to pass the lip of the thread. So if it goes past the top of the oil cover here, it will get very, very, very close to the actual gears inside the differential. So I would plan on either having it slightly sunk into the cap or as level as humanly possible to the cap as you can, just as a warning for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here. I'm going to go ahead and do my gasket maker. I'll show you guys some pictures, and then I will do a final thoughts. All right, I'll see you in a second. Alright, and so that's it for the mod. As you can see, I went ahead and took my Permatex gear oil gasket maker, filled in the rest of the void, and filled it all the way up so that it is nice and level, the best that I can with my magnet. And pretty much to do that, all I did was use a popsicle stick and just kind of fill it in and then wipe over it, and that's how I did that. So, final thoughts is this works great as an alternative for something that is not available aftermarket. However, this is not a replacement for changing your gear oil during your regular intervals. This is just added protection and or a longevity extender of your things like your bearings and your teeth, because there will be less steel floating around in the oil, adding extra friction and things grinding against other components. So, with that out of the way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will catch you guys next time. Let me know in the comments if this worked out for you and what you think, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace!
Thanks for watching my video. If you like the content, please consider becoming a supporter on Patreon, and remember to subscribe to me on YouTube and my new library channel, where you can watch all my content on a non-YouTube platform. Also, remember to follow me on Twitter so that you can stay up to date whenever I go live or post new content. All links in the description. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.